we're back!
Hello!
I'm Joe.
And I'm Kokoy.
Together we are...
TITOS with ukuleles and speakers.
Okay, we don't have a ukulele today. What we have is a nice portable amplifier.
Yes, by and by, we actually want to also share with you our thoughts on other things that are related to our lovely ukulele hobby. This one is a amplifier that was designed for electric guitars, but basically it is just the run-of-the-mill sound amplifier that you can plug in almost anything except your Bluetooth. No, it doesn't have one.
Okay, I'll admit, this one, despite its simplicity, I still made a big mistake with this. So
big mistake? What do you mean a big mistake?
Well, okay.
I mean,
so he loaned this to me.
Yeah.
He loaned this to me for evaluation purposes, and I called him up. Koy, the amp's not working. There's no sound. And he tried different things. I even changed the battery. Thought I drained it, only to discover that instead of putting in the cable in front, I was putting it in the back, in the out.
Yes, actually, this is a nice. If you notice, this is a very basic amplifier. There's nothing else on it but your volume control. Just simply because this was designed in the 70s. It came out in the 70s, made by an American company. The Pignose originated from America. This particular Pignose is the latest rendition of this classic model, the 7100 something. This is now manufactured by the Japanese company Aria. Mm-hmm. They make a lot of different Pignose instruments. If you notice that this is just a speaker, so what else can we talk about it? Well, Pignose is known to come up with these speakers, these 5-watt speakers. They were known by the 70s. What the artists would do and found out, that is this main HOG of instrument. It is considered kind of an instrument. It only has just the volume knob, but if you crunch it high enough, okay, it adds that overdrive. And for the 70s, it was not the time of metal yet too much, so most of the time people were on overdrive, which is why there is an output. So this was eventually like a speaker and a pedal in one. Mm-hmm. They also,
now, Pignose in name, and they carry it also over to the knob. It's in the shape of a snout.
Yes, so whenever you have one, don't lose one. Also, when you have a roadie, make sure it doesn't pocket the Pignose knob.
It's a collectible.
It is a very much collectible. A vintage one would cost you, double digits, I believe. So Pignose, since it became a company owned by Aria, which makes guitars, they started spreading out into different products. For example, what we have is the Pignose electric guitar, which has a similar pickup.
Don't they also make a ukulele?
Yes, as we featured in our previous episode, we also have the Pignose ukulele. Now, the electric guitar, again, that is the flare. These Japanese are fond of built-in speakers in their instrument, and the Pignose is the perfect example. Yeah, so that is the traditional Pignose squeal, as they sound, which comes from the original Pignose amplifier. Now, putting it into an instrument like this one. Yeah, so that is the classic look that the Japanese brought in when they adapted the company, which is, I think, a pretty good marketing stint. And as such, most Pignose instruments can only be bought in Japan. So that's it.
I like the detailing on this. So you have these metal corner protectors, and then of course the fake leather.
Yes, I wish they made out of pig skin, but something crunchy and roasty. So, Joe, what is the tone wood?
The tone wood is, I think, pine.
Yeah, no, okay. The Pignose, since the original, of course, would probably be made out of something like pine wood or something, a traditional amp wood. But when it comes to the Pignose, okay, when people are saying about tone woods and all like that, it doesn't matter. Well, for the Pignose, yes, it doesn't matter. But there's something special about a Pignose being an amp. Okay, what you can do to also enhance sound, change sound. for some of those vintage tradition that they used to do is that the pig nose actually opens up. All right. Okay, it is powered originally by also a 9-volt battery.
Yeah.
You can put actually a
Originally, what we have now here are 6 AA batteries.
I believe they also used to have 6 AA's because you can't fit anything bigger. But you also can be powered by a 9-volt adapter over here, where you can. There's actually a space with clip so that you can actually wind. But when people play, they do say that when you open it up, yeah, either that or like this or whatever, it does make the sound different because for those speaker audiophiles, you do know that your speaker cabinet, if it's just like this, flat out, the sound won't be because the throwback, right? So that's what they mean, that whoever designed the pig nose, aside from make it portable, yeah, they notice that you do change the sound a bit. If you notice, you also have strap locks.
Yeah, there's strap locks here. Spelling ko, to be nice to make one up. Wow, one for this out of leather. He said, why make when you can buy one?
Well, he's a leather guy, so you should know what leather this is. Yeah, it's vinyl. That's what. Yeah, it's been fake since.
Guys, if you own one and you doubt it's fake, just grab a lighter, heat a section, and once it starts to melt, you'll know it's fake.
And for those collectors, if you remove some collectors or some users, they actually take out the fake leather to reveal the wood if it's real wood. I feel it's real wood. They do come nowadays with a special edition black. They also have pink, tweed, and this traditional brown.
For me, it reminds me the way it looks this way. Looks like one of those old-fashioned steamer trunks. I would change this and put in like a fake crocodile skin.
They did release a couple of years ago, I think, the crocodile or snake skin, fake snake skin, of course. So yeah, that's what the Japanese, I think, or the previous owners, because it has changed hands at least a couple of times. From the traditional brown leather, then they started marketing it. Because who would be interested in a plain box like this? A lot of people will use up all those different effects. This doesn't have reverb, this doesn't have delay, this is not Bluetooth, it's not a modeling app, it's just pure crunch.
Yeah.
Which is why in the 70s, bands like the Beatles, Led Zepp, you name all of them, they loved this one. They would just imagine a concert. You just put this up in front of a microphone, and that's what the guitarist would use for their lead.
Yeah. Now, Kokoy mentioned that this can be powered with a 9-volt adapter, but not any regular 9-volt adapter.
Yes, it does use the mono pin for like a headphone jack, but mono. So you do have to get either special or the original adapter for this one.
Well, no, just to point it out. Oh,
okay, that's also one. That's a blooper, but not because this is built so well. And why I have metal? Because this was made to be brought everywhere, right? This is the original busker, right? We make a blooper into part. So this original busker can also be used as a deadly weapon.
Okay, so again, here we go.
I'm not saying that.
Okay, so I don't know if you can. That little thing, that's where you plug in the adapter right here. That little hole.
Yes, so that is very special for a little small amp. It's really a fun amp. Now you might be wondering how this sounds. Now let me plug it into another amp. No, I'm kidding. Now we're going to try to use some samples, but especially using electric guitar because this is what it's made for. This was specifically because of the crunch. So we'll run a couple of types, maybe one type of electric steel strings for this sound sample. Would you like to hear it?
Sure.
So, Joe,
We're
how
back.
do the samples sound?
Crunchy, crunchy. Actually,
Crunchy. Just like a roasted pig.
so so I borrowed this from Kokoy also to help evaluate it. And I don't own an electric guitar. I do have ukuleles, and they all have nylon strings. And I hooked it up to this, and yeah, still sounds crunchy even with a nylon string ukulele.
That is why we are actually saying that this can be used by regular ukulele users with acoustic electric systems, because this is technically just an amplifier. You don't have to crunch it all the way to 12. That's what they say it, because it goes beyond 10. But you can run this maybe on a quarter if you're using let's say an active pickup.
If the songs you like to play on the ukulele were the songs from before when the 32 bar formula was still going strong, and you want a sound that helps from your uke that helps emulate the time when 32 bars was still going strong as a music formula. Yeah, this would help you produce that sound.
Yes, and running on 5 watts. Running on 5 watts, this would be similar to those usual brands for ukulele specific amplifiers like the Kala. The Kala just has a little more adjustments, but more or less because of the small size format, those sounds can also be as very shallow, mid, just roughly around the mid. There's no real adjustment. So
Yeah.
if you really want to play a very solid, warm sound for a ukulele, you better use like bigger amps, like
Yeah. Now, 5 watts doesn't sound that strong. Yeah, but until you crank this up, yeah, it's gonna be loud, especially if you play it in an enclosed space, like your bedroom. In terms of let's say the Kala amp, I didn't measure with a tape measure, so I'm just gonna eyeball it. Like this is 5 watts, and the Kala amp is also supposed to be 5 watts, but physically, the size of the 5 watt speaker does appear to be bigger than that of the Kala. I have no idea how it affects the sound though.
Yes. Well, again, this channel is for ukulele players, and not a lot of ukulele players know the science about electric guitars and stuff or amplifying, because ukulele is just an acoustic instrument, right? Yeah. So one thing that you would like to also know about such things like this is because when you're amplifying sound, it's just like amplifying using a microphone. I mean, our bodies are microelectronic. We don't put up that much voltage, right? But when you put up in the mic, we actually sound loud and clear, right? So when you're talking about amplifiers, well, especially when you're shopping for amplifiers, you have your acoustic specific, you have your electric specific. Technically, they're just saying something about signals. Now, some acoustic amp do have preamps, because if you're using a passive system, right? Because in terms of the electric magnetic from an electric guitar, it really has more substance to bring out, because it's relatively closer to a electric current, right? That's why they call it electric guitar. With an acoustic, you have to convert that. So that only means that an amplifier, in most cases, is just amplifying the sound. And because even if you're using a piezo system, a passive one, you're really just still voicing out a small little signal from your piezo line. That's what a piezo line, it converts it. So when you're buying amplifiers, okay, some other might disagree with me. You can use any amplifier. It's just a matter of how you want the sound to sound like.
So I can get, let's say, a regular guitar amplifier, crank it up, and put in my bass guitar.
Yes. And if you're worried about bursting it, it's just a matter of just checking the levels, right? I mean, the only reason why people burst bass, on a regular guitar amp with a bass guitar is because when you have a bass guitar and you have a electric guitar, when they crank it up, the bass signal will be too strong, right? But if you put it in mid-level, like in this case, you crank this up with a passive piezo, you probably will hear a little sound, but you might have to really preamp it a bit. So that is just the basics, and this is the most basic example, because the electronics of a Pignose is just this. right? How much simple can you get by battery, speaker, and this little amplifier, which is probably consistent of basic.
Like, I have a busking amp. It's got 2 inputs, one for mic, one for the instrument. Then there would be separate controls for tone, volume. I would have a control, say, for reverb, delay, chorus. This thing only has one knob. One knob.
Yes and no. It only has yes and no, on and off.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What we're saying is that, some people are on a budget, or if you already have an amplifier and you're moving into, let's say, the ukulele, that doesn't mean that you have to buy a ukulele amplifier. Like, I mean, if you already have the Pignose for your rocking guitar, then you can use this for the ukulele. You just have to really just blend your sound. You can also put in a effects box before this guy, but this is so loud, you have to really blend that one. But that's it. Amplifiers, again, whether you're using a bass amplifier, a keyboard amplifier, electric guitar amplifier, acoustic amplifier, you just have to worry about blending it so that it doesn't pop, destroy, or anything, or overload. However it will make the sound, it will work. So just getting around those can save you hundreds of bucks from either buying.
Yeah.
Like this guy. which is roughly about only like $150.
So small yet so much fun.
It's so much fun. So loud. There's no weak. Yeah, I mean, this is so loud that cranking it up. So Joe, there you go. So we'll be featuring more episodes on amplifiers, more amplifiers that are dedicated for acoustic instruments.
Yeah.
But this is a fun instrument, and a Pignose is always collectible.
Yeah. Guys, I've said it before, I'll say it again. We need your likes, we need your subs, keeps us going.
Yes, keeps us going and finds us replacement when we do drop this one day.